Okay, this tutorial is to show you how to make up a basement plan using your Bungalow A folder and files as your starting point, but you're going to create an entirely different house for Bungalow B assignment. Make sure that you take your entire folder called Bungalow A and copy it to a new folder called Bungalow B. Again, the floor plan that is in Bungalow A will now be in Bungalow B, but you'll be able to now make changes without affecting your Bungalow A. Your Bungalow A will have to be uploaded and submitted for evaluation separately. So again, make sure that you do save your Bungalow A folder to Bungalow B, and then work only in Bungalow B for this. Alright, I've already done that. In my case, I called mine Bungalow 1B. You would have had Bungalow A, now you'll have Bungalow B, and I've got my first floor plan. Notice that over here I've got, we haven't used this before. This shows me what files are in that folder, and right now I've just got my first floor plan. What I'm going to do is I need to make up a basement plan. So to do that, I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to use that first floor plan as my starting point. So I'm going to call this basement plan. Make sure you use names that you or somebody else coming to your computer could identify what the files are for. Alright, now we do save, and now up in here it says basement plan. If I come over here, I can switch between the first floor and the basement, which right now are identical, but later on will be quite a bit different. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to erase things from the basement plan that we won't have there. So I don't need the kitchen and doors, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and erase them. I can go up to erase, or I could type in E for erase, and I could select things and get rid of them one at a time. And now, instead of doing it one at a time, I could instead go to block erase, which is much like erase window in AutoCAD, and I could select things. I want to keep my exterior walls and my garage walls, so I'm going to do these ones individually by typing in E and just erase each of these. Okay, now make sure that before you start to do this, back in your first floor plan, you created a garage with garage walls. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just double check that my wall heights are the same as what you're likely using. So I'm going to go to Edit, I'm going to click on the wall, and mine are 9 feet high walls. I had just selected that in the floor plan. You may have 8-foot high walls. I'm going to change mine just because most of you have probably got 8-foot high walls. So I'm going to type in 8 here, say OK, and then I can just use the repeat edit. So I'm going to go to Edit, Repeat Edit, and do each of the other walls. So whenever you've got repetitive edits to do, just use Repeat Edit. And I'm going to get all these ones. Okay, and that should be everything there. Now if I right click and select, now I'm going to do a quick build on this. Just make sure that everything looks okay. And you go to Sketched. And you've got to save changes, yes. That's okay. And it looks like everything is good. So all of my walls have changed, and notice that my stairs are actually going the wrong way because they're still going down. I'm going to need to change that later, but I'll do that in a little while. Okay. In fact, the easiest place to do that is in the floor plan. So I'm going to go back to the floor plan, do Edit, Edit on the stairs. I now want the bottom to be at 0. Now if I say OK and go back to my plan, or my quick build, and regenerate it, Now I can see them going up. Okay, so now I'm going to. Now we'll go back to the floor plan. Okay, so we need to go through and change the wall types. So I'm just going to double check here that my wall size is 8 feet. Good. And we're going to go up to Edit, Change Wall. We need to change each type of the walls that are in the basement right now to concrete 10-inch. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to change those to concrete 10-inch. Of course, you could choose otherwise. You could do block 10-inch or concrete 8-inch, but I'm going to use concrete 10-inch. So OK. I'm going to leave this setup the way it is. And now I've got concrete walls. Now I'm going to go back up and do the other two types of walls. So I'll go to Change Wall. And we're going to change the 2x4 siding garage. Say OK. And we're going to change it to concrete 10-inch. Say OK. And say OK. Then one more time to change wall. Change the partition 5.5 garage. Say OK. And change it to concrete 10. Say OK. And now we've got all the walls in as 10-inch concrete. Now I'm going to go back and have a look at my basement plan. I'm going to regenerate, and that's what it looks like. So now what we need to do is the garage walls shouldn't go down 8 feet. We really want them to start only 4 feet below grade, and so what we'll have to do is offset them up by 4 feet and change the height to 4 feet. And then that's the same as the total 8 feet of all the other walls. So we're going to do that for this wall and this wall in here where the garage door is. So to do that, I'm going to do that in build mode. So I'm going to go to Edit, Edit Item, and I'm going to change the wall height to 4 feet. And I'm going to change the offset to 4 feet. Make sure that it's offset up and say OK. And that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to do a repeat edit and do this front garage wall as well. Okay? And then what we want to do is we want to change this garage door. We don't only want it to be an opening in the concrete to allow for the door that's on the first floor plan to sit in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Edit Item on the garage door. We're going to change it from being a garage door. So I've clicked on Exterior Garage Door. We're going to go to a cross, which is just an opening, and we're going to use the 111 by 12 cross. So that's 12 inches deep by 111 wide, which is 3 inches wider than your 108 inch door. Okay, and that's just what you want for the opening. So we can say OK. For that one, we're going to change the offset to be 0. Crossings are the only ones where they offset from the top of the wall down. So we actually want the top of the opening to be right at the top of the wall. So it's going to be 0 feet 0 inches. Then I'm going to say OK. And now you can see that what I've got is just an opening there in the concrete. That's exactly what we want, so that when the car comes through, it just drives right through at grade, which is going to be at this level. Okay. We can right now go and change the height of the grade, but actually first what we'll do is we'll put in the floor system. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the plan view. And to put in the floor system, we have to change mode. So we go to floor system, and now I'm going to come over to draw and notice that the draw items have changed to be things for the floor system. And in the basement, we're going to use a slab. So I'm going to click on slab, and then I'm going to do auto trace. And click on auto trace, and now it puts in a floor slab in there. Then I'm also going to click into the garage, and I put a separate floor slab in the garage. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to change myself back to drawing mode, and I'm going to go back to my 3D and regenerate it. Okay. So notice that the stairs have lifted up onto the floor slab. I've got my floor slab in the basement the way I want, but the floor slab for the garage is not at the right level, so I need to edit it. So I'm going to do that again in 3D. You could do it in the floor system if you want. And click on it, and this time I want it to go up. I want it to go up 8 feet minus 1 foot, which gets me down to here, which is 7 feet. But that would put the bottom of the slab at the top of the opening, or at the opening here. That would mean that the car would have to bump over the 4-inch slab. So we actually want the top of the slab to be at the same height as the bottom of the opening here. So it's going to be 7 feet minus the 4-inch slab is 6'8". So I'm going to type in 6'8" here. Oops, sorry, I'm going to leave that as 4 inches. I'm going to go to my offset and type in 6 feet 8. Right, I don't have to put the inch symbol because that's the default. Say OK. And now when we look at it, it's exactly right. Okay, so now we've got our basement plan virtually done. I'm going to go back to the floor plan, and everything that we've got in here is now good. So I'm going to go to the floor plan, and we're going to go to build. I didn't actually have to go to floor plan to do this. I can do assemble, build in either one. I need to assemble the floors, because this time I want to see the 2 floors together. So I'm going to go to assemble floors, and you add from the bottom up. So I need the basement plan added, then I need the first floor added. And if there was a second floor, I would add that on top. And say OK. This time, instead of a quick 3D, what I'm going to do is a 3D. And I'm going to go to Sketched. I'm going to say OK in here. If you had a site drawn in yours, you may want to, at that point, change it so that oh shoot, do I look? That's something not quite right here in this wall here. I've got to find out what that is. You shouldn't have that if you didn't do any floor systems first. I'm just going to find out what that is on mine. Well, I'm going to try to just carry on, give you the last few steps. Yours should be looking fine right now. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to drop this door down. So I'm going to go to Edit, edit the garage door, and then I need to offset it. And I'll want to offset it 1 foot down now, right? Because we're making it so that the grade is 1 foot below the top of the foundation. I should have mentioned that back at the beginning of the video. So offset down, say OK. All right, and if this thing was sitting properly, that would mesh in there just perfectly. Okay, so now you've got your basement plan in, and yours, I hope, will be sitting exactly right. You should see this down onto here, and the next thing would then to be to put in a floor system up on the first floor. I'll show you that in a separate video. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Sorry that the middle part here got a little jumbled.